Maintaining multilingual shop content doesn't have to be time-consuming. With Translator Pro, automatic AI translation for products and shop content, translations can be efficiently created and automated directly in the Shopware administration. New and modified content can be automatically translated with AI. This can process products, manufacturers, categories, properties, text blocks, email templates, and experiences, from individual fields to complete detail pages to large amounts of data. Additionally, image alt texts can be automatically generated with AI and translations, token usage, and AI costs can be centrally managed. We are now on the homepage of the Shopware administration. First, we will configure our AI models. To do this, we navigate to Extensions, My Extensions, and click Configure to open the plugin settings. In the first section, AI Model Configuration, we can choose between OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google Gemini. We have already configured Google Gemini and OpenAI. We can now test the API connection directly in the administration. If the connection is successful, the AI provider has been configured correctly. Additionally, we can enable AI-generated image alt text to automatically create alt text and image titles using AI. In the next section, we configure the visibility of the buttons for manual translation. We can choose between translation of individual fields, translation of the entire detail page, or both. In our example, we enable both options. We also enable automatically detect translatable detail pages, so the AI translation functions are automatically available on supported pages. Next, we move on to the language settings, where we can define a default source language and select the default target languages for translations. We then save the settings and take a closer look at the manual translation. To do this, we navigate to Catalogs, Products, and open a product. Here we open a product and can already see the new AI buttons, including the one in the smart bar. This button allows us to translate all translatable fields on the current detail page. When we open it, a dialog appears with the default source and target languages already selected, which can be adjusted if needed. We can also select the preferred AI model and choose which fields should be translated. Once we click Translate, the translation process starts and the generated translations are displayed for the selected target languages. We can then review the translated text and make any adjustments if needed before saving the translation. If we now click Save Translation, the translated content is saved directly in the corresponding language fields. For example, if we switch to French, we can see that all translated fields now contain the correct French content. There is also an AI button available for each translatable field, allowing us to translate individual fields separately. Here we can again select the source language, target languages, and preferred AI model, and then translate only the selected field. Here we can see the original text alongside the translated versions in the selected target languages. We can also review and adjust the translations if needed before applying the changes. There is also another AI button in the top bar, which opens the global translator. Here we can select the source and target languages, enter any text, and translate it directly. The translated text can then be copied and used wherever needed. If we want to translate several product pages at once, we can use the multi-translation feature. To access it, we navigate to Settings, Extensions, AI Translation Entities, and Automation. Here, we open the bulk translation section, where we can see all previously created bulk translations along with their status and progress. To create a new one, we click the button on the right and select the entity we want to translate, for example, products. We can then optionally select the fields we want to translate. The default source and target languages are applied automatically, but can be adjusted if needed. We can also select specific records to translate. If no records are selected, all records of the chosen entity will be included. We then start the bulk translation and can monitor its current status and progress directly in the overview. These translation processes can also be fully automated. To configure this, we navigate back to the plugin settings. Here we can define the general settings for automatic translations. First, we can decide how existing translations should be handled, either overwrite them or only fill in missing content. We can also enable automatic translation for overridden CMS content, so changes made in the source language are automatically applied to the target languages as well. In addition, we can save the translation history and define after how many days older history entries should be deleted. We can then configure the automatic AI translation by clicking the corresponding button. This takes us back to the plugin settings, where we select the AI translation menu item. Here, we can see several predefined entities for which automatic translation can be activated. If we want to use additional entities, we can add them using the Add Entity button on the right. We now open an entity, for example category, and enable automatic translation. We can choose whether it should always be active for changes in the administration and imports via the Sync API, only for imports via the Sync API, or remain inactive. In our example, we select Always Active. We can then choose exactly which fields should be translated automatically. If we want to include additional fields, we can add them here and enable automatic translation for those as well. We then save the configuration. From now on, whenever a new category is created or an existing category is updated, the content is automatically translated into the selected target languages as well. Another useful feature of the plugin is the automatic generation of image alt texts. To demonstrate this, we navigate to Content Media and upload 2 prepared files with the language identifiers DE and EN in their file names. We can also see that the plugin automatically recognizes that these images belong together. When we open one of them, we can see the linked German version marked with DE. Using the Generate Alt Text button, the AI then creates a suitable alt text and image title based on the selected language and automatically fills in the fields. With Translator Pro, managing multilingual shop content becomes much easier and more efficient. This saves you time on translations and helps you keep track of content and AI costs.